But what do you say about his performance in this game, Karl-Anthony Towns, doing what he did, particularly when Jalen Brunson was in foul trouble?
Well, first, let me give a lot of credit to the bench, right? I thought Shamet and Deuce McBride came in and completely changed the game for the New York Knicks defensively. Tonight, Karl-Anthony Towns became a Knick, right? He became a Knick. On a night where Jalen Brunson was struggling, they were down, all of a sudden he took over. And that's the Karl-Anthony Towns that we know, one of the most skilled bigs to ever touch the damn basketball, and he did it in all fashion. He did it attacking the paint, from the three-point line. And I love it because he responded. He responded to Coach Thibodeau benching him in the fourth quarter in Game 2. That's how you answer the call. That's how you tell your coach, don't ever disrespect me again. Tonight, to Karl-Anthony Towns, best game in the Knicks uniform. He became a Knick when it mattered the most.
Okay, so this is a Knicks team that has been down in games before, but this is also a Knicks team that blew that lead the other night and allowed the Pacers to come back. So to me, I look at them and I see a resilient bunch to be able to do what they did tonight. How do you describe it?
I say the same thing, and it starts with the leadership, right, and the mental toughness. And your leader on that team is the heart and soul of Josh Hart. Tom Thibodeau said he's going to go with Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup. He bring in Josh Hart off the bench. All of a sudden, Josh Hart comes in, and he's that spark. Don't look at the box score when you talk about Josh Hart and the energy that he brought tonight. And then all of a sudden, it was contagious. We saw OG Anunoby get involved. We saw Karl-Anthony Towns in the second half dominate. And then Jalen Brunson come in the stretch, hit a crucial floater in the paint. So that's just who they are, right? But I'm so happy.
I think he's back now. Can you hear me again, Perk?
He's there.
You there? Can you hear me? All right.
Can you hear me?
We lost you for a second.
Yeah.
Let's go back to what you were saying about Josh Hart, because I think it's important, and you kind of got cut off there, about what he did coming off the bench. Why was he such a spark to this team?
Because he's the heart and soul of the team. He's a Swiss Army knife. He could cut you everywhere but loose. And what he did was he led by example. His energy tonight, it was contagious, right? We saw when they didn't have the energy, we saw him defending, we saw the offensive rebounding, we saw the defensive rebounding, and all of a sudden you see Shamet, you see Wright, and then Karl-Anthony Towns come in and they follow suit. So when you have a guy like Josh Hart that is all in, right? Don't matter if he's a starter or not, it sets the tone and the temperature for your locker room, and I thought he was phenomenal tonight, the unsung hero.
Perkins Eves, and look, based on how those first two games played out in New York, we were all talking about what the Knicks didn't do, while still giving the Pacers props for coming back and winning those games. But it was also what the Knicks didn't do. Now I think we got to turn that same prism to the Pacers, where you were up 2-0, you were at home, you got a 20-point lead. It's still double digits in the fourth quarter, and you lose with Jalen Brunson in foul trouble. How does Rick Carlisle and his squad settle with what happened here?
Well, I mean, you're right, though, and it starts with Tyrese Halliburton, right? He's the leader of that squad, and when you at the crib and you up 20, you got to handle business, right? But the Knicks returned the favor. Again, Miles Turner, who has been playing exceptional basketball this entire postseason, right? You can't get outplayed by Karl-Anthony Towns. I think the Knicks then found something there. But again, you got to hold those guys accountable, and I'm going to say this. Those minutes where Aaron Nesmith had to go to the back when he turned his ankle were huge minutes for the New York Knicks, because he has been a pest and a thorn in their side. So they made the run. Again, I'm excited for Game 4. I think it's going to be one of them, but I think the Knicks are going to tie this series up. We're going to be headed back to Madison Square Garden in a few days for Game 5 with this series 2-2.
Perk, one other thing I noticed late in the game, and obviously you can attest to this as many big playoff games you played in your life, it felt as though it was the Pacers. There were a lot of short arms on some of those shots down the stretch. A couple floaters here, even some of the threes. And those when you're a little tight, you're not a little certain of what you're trying to do here. Granted, these are the best players in the world, but how can that moment impact players when you know you need to score right now as the Knicks were making their run?
Well, I think it comes down to this, right? You look at your champion. Who is your champion on the Pacers? Pascal Siakam. He was the guy that went for 39 in Game 2. He's the guy that they look to for go-to buckets down the stretch. He wasn't there. The Knicks did an outstanding job on him tonight, all right? Like taking him away. We just saw the Knicks clicking on all cylinders. And again, when you're up by 20 and all of a sudden the team start to fight back and all of a sudden they take the lead and they come back, now the pressure is on you. See, the pressure has always been on the New York Knicks because they've been the ones with home court advantage or blown the leads in this series. But now all of a sudden the Pacers blew the lead and we saw them start hitting the side of the backboard. Miles Turner, he shot a shot. I started ducking in the house. Thought he was going to hit me.
You know where that thing was going.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear, I pull up all brains. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's 88 over here,